Hello there, good people. My name is Pio Mashak and welcome to my channel. If this is your very first time joining us, welcome. And if you are a goodie but an oldie, welcome back, gang. Okay, so this is part 2 of our kitchen renovation. Okay, before we dive into this, darlings, grab yourself a cup or something. I'm having tea. I'm always having tea. I'm still breastfeeding, so I tend to drink a lot of tea during the day because it helps my breast milk. Okay, so grab whatever that you need to grab, and we're gonna sit down and get right through this. Now, this part is really about my vision, what I want to see in my kitchen, what do I want to see it become. So first things first, I'm gonna take you through all the different parts of the kitchen and the designs that I was aiming for and going for, and I'm gonna tell you the reasons why I went for those things. And to this point where we're at, I will be giving a little bit of insight on the items that we got and where exactly did we get them from. Okay, so when you first walk into my house, when you walk into not the kitchen area, but when you walk into the living room, the main part of the house, you're gonna be met by obviously the entryway in the living room, and right across it, like right across it, is where the kitchen is. Right, it's an open plan kitchen, so it's kind of one part with the living room, so you will definitely see the kitchen. So I needed the kitchen to be grand. I needed it to just speak for itself. I didn't need to explain anything to anybody, child. I just wanted the kitchen to sing its beautiful song. So the first thing you'll see is the island. Right, so the island is massive. It is, I'll insert something here, the sizes of it, but I think it's 2 meters by 1.4 or something. I don't really remember the precise numbers, but yeah, that's the size of my island. It's quite massive. The reason for that is because I've got 2 boys who are still young. I wanted them to have ample space to do their homework if they want on the island. I wanted us all to share breakfast every morning on the island, and I also wanted to be ample space for me to cook, to bake. Basically, it's where everything is done. Like, that's where everything is done. I do my food preps there. So I've got on the island, I've got a little sink, but I don't want to start with the island. I want to go to the first portion of the kitchen. When you walk into it, that's the part that you see from the living room. You basically see the entire kitchen, but I prefer to start this way from the door of the kitchen right through to the end of the kitchen. Okay, so the first part, which is this one, I am planning to actually have the top part of the kitchen be glass cabinetry doors, and the reason for that is because when you come from a home, or when you're a black girl growing up in a home where your mom would collect these beautiful items, right? Whether it's beautiful cutlery, beautiful china, chinaware, beautiful dinner sets, and all of that, and then she'll just stash them away somewhere for one day when the Queen of England, or when Nelson Mandela back in the day, or whoever is the president, whoever is important at the time, will come to visit you or visit her, and then she'll actually pop up those beautiful china, to serve anybody who came to visit. Growing up in that environment, you can't help but have a certain liking to it when you are older. When I was young, it didn't make sense, but now that I'm older, it makes perfect sense, because I am somebody who likes finding those unique pieces, and I want to store them away in there and let them just sing their beautiful song like the rest of the kitchen. So I wanted them to just have a moment of their own, have a place to just sing. My mom used to hide them away and no one would really see them, no one would be able to get to them so that we don't break them, child. So I was very interested in actually making them sing for themselves, putting them on display. And I remember our grandmothers would actually put them in some sort of a cabinet that has glass and you can just see her beautiful collection. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. That's the idea. And I wanted that in my kitchen. So that is, I don't know what's going on with the lighting. It's going dark and it's going light. Like, please do excuse it. I don't know. I don't know even what to do. Should I move from here? Find another spot where I can shoot or what? I don't know. But that's where we're at right now. So I'm just gonna continue. Please do bear with me with the lighting. It just keeps changing on its own. I don't know why. Okay, it's a technical error, I guess. So I wanted to display all my collectibles. I don't have a lot right now, but I am planning to actually collect those little rare pieces, the items that you won't really find in the dinnerware or in the chinaware of today. Those things that are vintage that I love. So the top part of the cabinetry is just going to be glass cabinetry, and I will be displaying all my collectibles. And then underneath it is just normal cabinetry. At the end of the cabinets, the one closest to the door is actually where I will be having one part or one of the places to, like a rubbish bin. So I'm gonna have that there. The reason for that, I'm gonna have three parts of the kitchen that's gonna have a bin where you can throw whatever that you need to throw. The reason for that is because when you've got kids, really I just needed a lot of space for the bin, and I didn't want, you can't go higher than how high the cabinets are. So I needed to have a bin that is big enough, because it's not only just what I'm cooking every night or every day, but it's also the little projects that we do in the house, and I wanted ample space to just like throw everything in there. And also another reason for that is because I really do want to have sort of a sorting system for recycling. So I do have two bins that are hidden in cabinets, and I'm gonna have one that's outside of the cabinet, and that will be for our recycling. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what's there. And then right next door to it is a cabinetry that will be like the station for coffee. So it's a coffee station, or for us, because we're not big coffee drinkers, it will be our, excuse me, it will be our tea station, right? So that's where we'll be making our tea. And I specifically wanted a floating shelf with a railing on it. I think it's beautiful, that brass railing. I'll show you right here. Yeah, so I wanted that so that I can put all the little sauces and some cups, and like some coffee mugs, for tea and coffee. And then right above it is a cabinetry that will be open, and the inside of it will be, I'll line it with wallpaper that is a specific wood color, right? I'll insert something right about here to indicate the idea that I'm going for. So it will not have cabinetry doors, but it will actually have, it's like an open cabinet where I will have my little beautiful display of coffee items on there, right? And right underneath it we have a plug there, so we'll have a toaster and I will have our kettle there. I don't believe in cabinet have cabinet space being too crowded. I don't believe in the cabinets to just the countertops to be too busy. Like, I don't want to have appliances there, like a lot of appliances there, or have a lot of things on the actual countertop. So it'll be very minimal, because I want the backsplash to shine. You guys already have seen my backsplash, the choice of the backsplash that I went for, but you obviously see in the progression of this project. Okay, so then the floating shelf is my, like, man, I love it so much. And it was not easy to get it done, but they're getting it done. Basically, I will not deter from my vision. Okay, so that's our coffee station. I want it to look grand, I want it to look beautiful, and I want it to be easy access to everything. So that is why I wanted that floating shelf, so that the cup and the sauces can be there, so that, and also like things like syrups and stuff that you use for your teas, or syrups that you use actually for your coffee, to flavor your coffee, to give it different flavors. So that's where that's going to be. Right next door to it is where our fridge is, and above it is a cabinetry as well. And right next door to that is actually two doors that lead to our dirty kitchen as they call it, but actually it's two doors that lead to the scullery, right? So the scullery is a story of another day. Okay, not that it's an issue, actually it's the most complete part of the kitchen, to be honest with you. But the scullery will be a scullery like where we wash our dishes and stuff. So it has a bigger sink and a more industrial tap, or rather mixer. Second of all, the scullery also is, so it has a dishwasher as well. So it has also our washing machine in there. So we have a washing machine in there and our dryer in there. We have also our linen closet in there. So there is cabinetry space that we'll be using for storing away detergents and all those things, as well as storing away all our linen. So our linen cabinet is also in there. It's ample and nice and big. It's got ample space and it's nice and big. Okay, so those are the two doors that look like cabinetry, normal cabinetry doors, but it's actually doors that lead you to the scullery. Okay, and above that is a cabinetry space that is just too high. I don't believe, I personally, right? This is the philosophy of mine, or my take on this. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but this is what I believe. I just think, growing up in a home where the cabinets that were high, you needed a chair, and you needed to like really reach for them. And I've had a couple of accidents as a child where I fell trying to reach something at the top of the cabinets. So I don't want to go through that. I don't want my kids to go through that. So I don't want the cabinets that are closest to the ceiling to have anything in there. So that cabinet is not going to have anything. I'm inserting something here. It's not going to have anything on it except decorative pieces, and it will have the same wallpaper that I will be putting in the previous one, which is our coffee station, right? So I will just not be using it for anything. It will not be for storage, but it will be just like a decorative area, right? Okay, right next door to that is where we have our what do they call it, pantry. Gosh, pantry, like, really, I forgot that. Okay, that's where we'll be having our pantry. It's nice and big. It's at the corner, so it's got ample space for all the things that I want to do in there. I initially thought that I would want a walk-in pantry, but my family is not that big, and I don't want to stress myself trying to fill up a pantry with items, that we will not be using, and like having to throw away expired items because we just simply did not use them. I'm eliminating waste and like excessive buying. So I just don't want to consumerism, like just going and buying stuff to fill a pantry. I don't want that. I wanted something that is actually a good size for us. So the pantry that we have is a good size. It's one giant door from the floor to the ceiling, and that's our pantry. I love it. There's nothing more to say about that. I will be doing a linen closet organization and give my tips on what I do to make it look aesthetically pleasing but also functional. Same thing with the pantry as well. Okay, so the next cabinet next to that one is a cabinet where there is our microwave as well as our oven. I previously had an oven that was underneath the stove, like it was you saw in my previous kitchen right here, I had that type of stove, and where the oven was underneath. And my son, guys, would switch off the oven or play with the little dials of the oven, and you thinking you're cooking dinner and the kitchen is, I mean, the chicken is, halfway done, or we're just about to have dinner, and you find out that your oven has been off, or you burning something because you played with the temperature, and everything is gone now to the dogs basically. So I did not want the same repeat of that, even though I love those gas stove that have that vintage look. I don't know what style that is, but like those I'll put in insert a picture here, but those the gas stove that has a beautiful aesthetic look to it. I wanted those, I love those, but I knew that my son is just gonna mess up my whole functional game, so I will not be doing that. Okay. And then so my oven is actually eye level. That's what I'm gonna be doing. And okay, I might have to pause this for a minute, okay? Okay, we're back. So that's why I wanted an eye level oven, because then I know that my son will have to grow up to be a tall little man for him to get to those dials, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of buying time with that, because eventually he will reach the oven and take whatever I'm cooking, child. Okay, so the top of it is also cabinets, the bottom of it is also cabinets. So those cabinets, I am actually, I've decided that the top cabinets will have a different pull than the bottom cabinets. Actually, the top ones will probably the smaller top cabinets will have little well, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I think it's gonna ruin the big reveal if I overshare. But let's just say the pools and the knobs are gonna be in, like, they're gonna be different sizes as far as the kitchen is concerned. Okay, next part of the kitchen is where the stove is. This is the most exciting part. This is a part that excites me. I love it so much, and I'm just happy that I'm getting what I want. Okay, so I decided to go for a gas stove. The reason for a gas stove is because, first of all, we are in a country like South Africa. I'm kidding. We are in South Africa. So South Africa has an issue with electricity. So at times we'll have load shedding. And with the experiences that I've had, child, with load shedding, at this point, as South Africans, we are experts in this whole no electricity game. Okay, so I knew that I wanted to have a gas stove. Besides the fact that we have electricity issues, load shedding, it's the fact that it's just if energy efficient, and I will be saving a lot of money as well with electricity. And another really big reason is because it's fast. It really is quick. I grew up cooking on a gas stove because at home we had a gas stove all our lives, and things would be really quick. So I knew that when I have my house, one day when I'm a grown up, I will be getting a gas stove. And there we go. We have a gas stove. But also I knew that I wanted a gas stove that also has some electric plates, because I wanted like an electric stove as well as a gas stove. The reason for that is convenience. If I don't have gas, or if there's issues with gas, I can actually use electricity and cook. So I wanted something that is a duo, which I got, and I'm happy with it. I also love the brand. Okay, so that's the stove. It's a little large because it has more. It has about 6 plates. 4 of them a gas, and the other 2 is electric plates. Okay, so underneath it is 2 big drawers. These drawers are for storing away all my pots and pans and all that jazz. I needed something massive because I've got a lot of pots and stuff, so I needed something that is quick and easy access while I'm cooking, as well as right next door to it is where we decided to keep the gas inside the house, then actually taking it out and actually placing it outside the house. That might change later, but at the moment this is how our setup is. So the cabinet right next door to the drawers is again another bin. The reason for that is because when I'm preparing or whatever, it's easy for me to just chunk things in there without having to think much about it. So it's just for convenience sake, for functionality sake. That's where we have our bin. And above the stove where the extractor is, right, I have designed something, right? So the process of the design is right here.
More comfortable with that from the computer?
Yeah. Okay, so we got 300 there. So are they gonna be inventor? He's doing inventor.
Oh, okay. I've never used
The
it.
car, yeah.
Have you started it?
So I'm gonna have this grant thing that's gonna cover the extractor, and then on the sides I am gonna be putting wooden for floating shelves, where it's just purely for decorative purposes. I have no plans of storing anything there. It's just for the aesthetics of it, because I've got a lot of cabinetry space. So I'm not worried about storage and not utilizing space to the max, because I've got ample space. Okay, so that's how that's gonna be, and I'm excited about it because it's something I haven't seen, and it's something that I've been looking to have, and I'm finally gonna have it, and I can't wait for you guys to see it in the grand reveal in part 3. Okay, and I'm wearing a different ring because I've got like 3 rings, so please don't ask me questions. Yeah, this is, yeah, I love this one though. It's cute. Now we move on to the island. The island, darlings. Oh man, wow. I love it so much. Like, I love every part of my kitchen, and it's not even done yet, but I'm in love with the process. I'm in love with where we're going as well. So the island, it's massive. Like I said, it's 2 meters by 1.5, 1.4. I'll confirm that. And it has a ceramic butler sink. It's a baby butler sink, and the reason for that, I knew that I have a sink in this gallery that is big enough, and I think over time I might actually change it to a butler, like a massive butler sink. But at the moment, it's the sink that we had in our previous kitchen. It was fine. I didn't see a reason to change it, especially because it's going to be in this gallery. We close the doors and we forget about whatever is in there and whatever dishes are in there, of course. Okay, so I knew that I wanted to have a kitchen that is timeless, but also that is stylish, and also that is not too dated. So it is a mixture of traditional, right, interior design, and modern or contemporary. So I'm kind of trying to gel the two and hoping that it works. And so far, it seems like it works, because I've seen some, inspiration pictures from on Pinterest that look great. It kind of works. So I'm going for that type of style, right? It's a transitional style. Okay, so I knew that some elements of my kitchen will be more traditional, and some elements of my kitchen will be more modern. So the mixer that I wanted, or the faucet that I wanted for this part of the kitchen, had to be modern, but also traditional, right? The reason for that is because the functionality of it, or the use of it, has to be modern. Like, modern has that convenient factor, the functionality of it just makes it work, because when you are using these modern tabs, they function better, they do more than the traditional tabs. So I wanted something that will kind of allow me to use the more advanced parts of a mixer or a faucet, and then but have an aesthetically pleasing traditional looking tab. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So this is the tab that I love, that I chose, and that I searched high and low for, and that I found in the color that I want. And it kind of plays between the two parts, where it's like modern but it's also traditional, right? It's got that very vintagey look, but it has the function of modern. Okay, so I love it. I love it so much, and it fits so beautifully in my island. So I opted to have an island that has a sink on it, for easy working space, right? Or rather, to have a space that is functional for me when I'm working on it, right? The stove is right behind the sink, which makes it easier, where the oven is right next to the stove. You need to design a kitchen that has these elements very close to each other, so that when you are working, you can prep your veggies and wash them in the sink, but also the oven is quite close by, and you have ample working space, and you have the oven close by, and your microwave close by. So I needed something that will function like that. I knew that I also wanted my sink to face the outside, so it's gonna face the outside, and I can watch the kids playing outside, or be in there, like, see whoever's in the entertainment area, if you've got guests, or entertaining anybody, or also just watch the kids while they swim and I'm preparing whatever that I'm preparing. Everything is facing the outside. Excuse me. And then the island on top of it, I've got these lights that kind of fit the aesthetics of the kitchen, or the color scheme of the kitchen. However, I'm not really crazy about them. I remember when I was pregnant, right? And I chose these particular lights. It's hanging lights or pendant lights, and listen, I'm not mad at them, but they're just not the type of light that I would normally go for. So there's some decisions that I made when I was pregnant that I'm kind of questioning right now. So these lights are part of those many decisions that I made when I was pregnant that I'm questioning myself about. Okay, so there's this hanging pendant lights. I'm okay with them right now, but I know that I will be changing them soon. And the countertop is a waterfall only on one side. The reason for I did initially think that I'll have the waterfall on both sides. However, my kitchen has to have function on the other side, and so I have cabinetry on the other side, and I was not willing to do away with that space. So where the sink is, there's also drawers on the side of the sink, as well as some cabinetry underneath the sink, for plumbing purposes, and the drawers is really for like cutlery that I'll be using, and whatever else that I'm going to be needing for preparing food or cooking or baking or whatsoever. And then on the side of where the fridge is, that's where I have three very massive drawers, and next door to it is it's a cabinetry that I'll be using for I'm still brainstorming, but I'm thinking I'm going to be using for my appliances. That's where I'm going to be keeping them, and some of them will be in the pantry. Okay, and then the chairs that I'm going for, that I'm looking for, are these chairs, or these ones, or these ones. And I've been searching and trying to find them, and I'm not trying to break the bank trying to buy these chairs. The reason for me going for these particular chairs is simple. Aesthetically beautiful. Second of all, I've got kids that are still young, and I don't want incidences of my child sitting on a chair, on the island, and falling back because the chair has no back and it has no arms. I need a chair that'll be able to carry my kids from this age until they are much older and they are more responsible. I just don't want to have any issues or any problems having my child sit there and falling back and hitting their head on hardcore tiles. I'm not gonna have that. So I need chairs that are kid friendly. Basically, my kids can sit there and I can feel comfortable that they're not gonna fall on their back or fall on their sides. So basically, that's the reason of me going for this particular type of chairs, or above the fact that they are aesthetically pleasing and they are beautiful. So that's the main reason. So every decision that you need to make when you're designing your kitchen has to consider your lifestyle, has to add to that consideration the type of family you are. So it adds a lot, and the financial capacity or financial ability or the budget that you have as well comes into play when you're designing a kitchen. So there are parts of the kitchen that I really splurged on. I won't lie. There are parts that I just splurged on, and my level of splurging may not be to your level of splurging. I might be splurging, and for you, it's like, it's alright, it's not, splurging for me. But also, I could be splurging, and you'd be saying, this is a little bit, much for me. So our level of splurging won't obviously be the same because we have different budgets. But I went for a mixture of saving and also splurging on certain parts. For instance, I knew that my kitchen was designed around the fact that I wanted countertops that were beautiful, grand, like the veining and all that. I knew that those are the countertops that I wanted. So because those are the countertops that I wanted, I initially thought I was going to go for marble. But after doing my research, I realized that with kids like myself, with kids, you need something that will not chip, that will not stain, that will not have any issues, and therefore marble was out. So I needed something that is durable. I needed something that will stand the test of time. And with my kids being boys and being what they are, I was not willing to spend a lot of money on something that I will be upset with them, doing something to it. Also, I'm a big cook, so I didn't want something that will stain when I'm cooking or anything like that. So I went for something that will definitely okay, so I needed something that will be able to accommodate my family and the lifestyle that we're living. And because I'm a big cook, I didn't want to worry about things chipping and scratching and staining and all of that jazz. So that's basically the choice of the countertops that I went for. So I splurged on that. However, I did save on the cabinetry because I reused majority of the cabinetry that we had in our previous kitchen. I also saved on the lights as well. Also, yes, here's another thing, right? When I was designing this kitchen, we didn't have a lot of planning as far as the lighting situation will go. So a lot of the lights that I'll be using, like accent lights, that I'll be having like right here, are lights that I will just install onto the wall, but I will not have live light bulbs in there. And I'm just going to be using those rechargeable lights, right? So that I was just inserting there, and I'll show you what I want to do as soon as those lights arrive, because I am waiting on them. They're going to be here in a few days. So I want to actually put just like those charging lights. And then as far as the appliances, I also splurged on that because those are things that I'm going to be having for a lengthy period of time. And so I didn't mind actually spending a little on that. But I did save on the faucet. I did save on the pulls and the knobs. I did save on a lot of items. Another thing about not going for very fancy things, especially the chairs, is because your kids will scratch them, write on them, paint on them, chew them, bite, everything. They'll do all of that. And I don't want to worry about my child scratching my. I just didn't want to worry about any of those things. So that's the reason why I'm looking for these chairs that will not be too expensive, but that will fit everything that I've just mentioned. All the this fit the criteria that I am aiming for and gunning for. Okay, so that's basically everything, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you like everything that we spoke about in this video, please do hit the like button, and of course do subscribe. We will gladly welcome you, and we can just grow together in whatever space and whatever life that we're living. We will actually join hands and grow together. We can share whatever information we've learned, and we can actually move forward together. Okay, my lovies, thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in another video, which will be coming up, part 3 of it. So this is what you'll be seeing in part 3. Okay, have a lovely day further, and see you next time. Bye.